Good day, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. In today's episode, we're going to continue our coverage of the ongoing civil war taking place inside of the former state of Ethiopia. And I wanted to start kind of where I left off in some of yesterday's videos, talking about Ethiopian intelligence services activities, the national internal security and intelligence services of the Ethiopian state of the Abiy loyalists, and even the state of Eritrea national intelligence services as well. And I talked about the No More movement in terms of it being fully funded and supported by elements of both the Eritrean and Ethiopian state intelligence services. And what's more important is I was able to receive additional intelligence, really backing up and supporting the confirmation that this is actively going on, specifically in relation to the No More movement. We were able to obtain invoices and other financial evidence, which absolutely points towards direct state involvement inside of the United States regarding the use of funds, and more specifically, in some cases, aid funds that is intended for humanitarian use inside of the former state of Ethiopia, in which those funds are then being transferred and utilized for housing and upkeep of intelligence officials operating inside of the United States and some other countries as well. But I wanted to just hit on that real quick. And again, do your due diligence in reference to No More. Look at, especially as I had showed you guys in the previous video, about the head, the figurehead of the No More movement. Look at her statements just a little over a year ago, and look at her statements now. At the very least, you're looking at a person who is simply out for capital money and to pursue a cause that she believes will get her some sort of notoriety and fame. Obviously, that's what she seeks. She went to Los Angeles for a reason, and that reason has been well described by her in terms of pursuing goals, the like of which she of her idol, Oprah Winfrey. At the worst case scenario, we're seeing active bribery and intelligence activities being conducted by an external state actor, the Abiy loyalists, intelligence agencies operating inside of the United States and using fund and blackmail to turn a once very vocal opponent of the Abiy Ahmed regime and the Isaias Afwerki regime, and now suddenly she is being given property, real estate, in which she can then lease out and rent out to people who then rent that land, and that provides her with an additional steady stream of income on behalf of the Abiy loyalist Prosperity Party government. So I just wanted to touch on that real quick and talk about that. Next is the fighting that is taking place inside of the former state of Ethiopia. And right now we're going to have a look at what is taking place inside of Oromia. And we continue to see an uptick in activity by the Oromo Liberation Army. Right now, over the past 48 hours, several Abiy loyalist security convoys have been ambushed and destroyed inside of the Oromia region. Again, it is becoming very difficult for the Abiy loyalist formations, the regional special forces units, the federal police forces, and the Ethiopian National Defense Forces, which are also being propped up by the Eritrean Army and Amhara regional militia units inside of the Oromia region. And again, what we're starting to see is, and what we have been saying, is those forces that are attempting to move around the Oromia region really cannot do so. In order for these security formations to move around the country, it is reported that they have to move in multiple company-sized formations and sometimes up to battalion-sized formations that are interdispersed because of the risk of convoy attack by the Oromo Liberation Army. So one of the tactics that we're starting to see by the Abiy loyalist formations, the Eritrean Army, the regional special police forces, are these interdispersed companies that have to travel separate from one another, and then offer supporting response to each other because of the risk of large-scale convoy ambush that is taking place inside, especially the western Oromia region. And again, we just heard within the last 24 hours another fairly large convoy of the Abiy loyalist formations were engaged, attacked, and destroyed inside of the Oromia region. And again, as you can see from our map here, the red areas are the areas that are controlled by the Abiy loyalist formations, by the federal forces. The yellow areas are the towns and areas controlled by the Oromo Liberation Army. And as you can see, there are many areas right now that are controlled by the Oromo Liberation Army, and those convoy attacks and attacks and the overrunning of smaller security bases continue and put a significant strain on the Abiy loyalist formations in the Oromia region. Furthermore, we continue to see fighting in the Tigray region specifically. We continue to see operations by the Tigrayan Defense Forces crossing over into the western Tigray region. Now, at the same time, we're starting to see an uptick in operations by both Afar regional forces, elements of the Eritrean and Abiy loyalist formations supported by drone strikes operating along the Afar Tigray border. We believe at this time those operations by the Afar regional militias and elements of the Eritrean army are designed to pull forces away, the preparatory forces away from the western Tigray region. As we know, there continues to be a buildup of significant combat power by the Tigrayan Defense Forces within the vicinity of the western Tigray region. And as operations continue, what the Abiy loyalist formations, the Afar regional militias are attempting to do is draw forces away from that possible operation or that continuing operation in western Tigray and focus, try to focus more Tigrayan Defense Force combat power towards the eastern borders of the Tigray region, specifically along the Afar region. But again, at one point we have seen most of the combat power of the Tigrayan Defense Forces while it mobilized to launch operations into the northern Amhara region and penetrating up to 160 miles into the Amhara region. Since then, a lot of that combat power has been withdrawn and is being repositioned near the Tikizi River border with the western Tigray region, and we continue to see sporadic fighting near Shiraro and other places in western Tigray as that preparatory phase and continued operational phase continues with the Tigrayan Defense Forces putting pressure on the western Tigray region. But again, right now, the Abiy loyalist formations, the federal forces right now, are very focused on the situation in the western Oromia region. They are having significant difficulties in this area. Again, large tracts of the Oromo region are under the control of the Oromo Liberation Army. And again, as I just talked about at the beginning of the video, or the second part of the video, in which we continue to see these large-scale ambushes and the destruction of large convoys of the regional special forces, federal police forces, and the actual federal forces fighting against the Oromo Liberation Army in the Oromia region. That is our current news for today. We will continue to report and cover the ongoing civil war taking place inside of the former state of Ethiopia. So please join us very, very soon for more content as we are watching a number of different issues, a number of different engagements taking place right now as we speak. And we will continue to provide coverage of said issues going on in the former state of Ethiopia. Have a good day, everybody.